A lot of my problems that were coming to school were actually starting at my house. And I would go to school and I'd shut down and I'd be like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing any work. I hate everyone at school, hate my teacher. That was just because of issues that were going on at home with my mom and my dad. They got divorced when I was younger, but it was still an ongoing fight. And so I was just pretty much the issues that were going on at home were acting out in what a social life was for a young kid. If teachers would have taken a second to been like, wow, well, we need to have a talk with her mom and her dad, or we need to have a talk with her and try to figure out what's going on, that probably would have helped get a better outlook on what my behaviors were actually saying. And I was never able to tell that to a guidance counselor, tell that to a administrator, because no one ever asked. And I'm not the type of person that's just going to be like, oh yeah, these are all the problems that I'm having at home and I need someone to help me with that. But there were things that I did, like I stole an eraser from the Scholastic Book Fair because I wanted something and my dad wouldn't give me money, so I was just like, okay, I'm gonna steal this. Which that's all my fault. No one did that to me. That was something I did. But had the school known a little bit of my history, maybe they could have directed me in a way so that we can learn that stealing isn't the way you get stuff that you want. And so instead of suspending me, which they did, maybe I had to work in the Scholastic Book Fair for the rest of the week instead of go out for recess. That would have been a perfect thing and I would have hated it. Actually working in the Scholastic Book Fair would have probably taught me a lesson because I would have had to see what the ladies go through, watching the people that steal, having to see things like that. And I think that that is what all schools should explore. And I'm sure that it sounds like it's a lot of wasted time, but if you can actually connect with the students on a better level and they can make a better relationship with the staff, then that's a huge step forward. It was tough for my guidance counselor to just say, well, we need to focus on your grades. This is really important when there's so much emotional issues going on behind the grades. Don't you understand that I'm really not happy with the person I'm becoming? And he's like, well, your grades are really... And I understand that grades are a big deal, but it's tough for your feelings to be put on the back burner for grades. A lot of the problems could have been resolved had I had a safe haven at school. I'm in a class right now and it's a summer school class, which is crazy, but I have this teacher and she's a great teacher. I could come to this teacher because she has such a great relationship with me and I know this because A, she wants my grade to be where it needs to be, and B, she is genuinely invested in the kids that she teaches. And you can tell. She's always asking how our weekend was, how the night before was, how our day was. I had an interview yesterday. The first thing she asked me when I came in the door was, how was your interview? Did it go well? How was it? And that's the stuff that I love to hear from teachers because she's genuinely invested in how I'm doing in my life. I had a therapist and she was nice. I think the problem was that she was too easygoing, yeah, that's terrible, that's bad, instead of giving me the tools to deal with the things going on in my life. I don't want to say that she wasn't helpful, because she was helpful and she gave me a little bit of a better idea, but I think I needed someone to tell me honestly what I need to do to change. I needed someone like that, you need to stop doing this, you need to start doing this, and you need to get on track. I have a really good group of friends, a really solid group of friends that I can always count on if I'm having a hard time. And some people aren't as lucky to have such good friends, but I have a really solid group of friends, and I also have a really solid mother too, who I'm able to bounce things off of, and I can always get an opinion, well, not always, but 9 times out of 10, get an opinion that is going to be genuine, and it's not her opinion, it's just a reasonable look at what I'm trying to do with my life. And she might not always agree with it, but she'll always give me what she thinks is right. And so that's what helped. And some people aren't as lucky to have someone like that in their life. And I look back on how I was acting, the things I was doing, it's not my character. And so I have been trying to, for the last couple years, trying to figure out who my true character is. But once you're on the road to trying to figure out who you are and trying to better yourself as a person, not just worrying about grades or anything that's going on, I think it's easier to look back and try to analyze what was going on in your life. My friend Daryl Ann, she was a senior when I was a freshman, and after her senior year, she spent about a year doing nothing. And then she enrolled in this program called City Year, which is working with Milwaukee students, and she was so into that. She's so into City Year, and she she spends like probably 60 hours a week working with kids. She would take me sometimes to do like murals at the schools. Her drive like threw me off because we were like the same person. We were like, oh yeah, we're gonna hang out all weekend and watch Netflix. We were like the same person, and then it turned into like, oh, you want to go paint murals this weekend, or oh, you want to go downtown and do this cool little activity with these kids this weekend? And I would be like, not really, but I would still do it. And it was the momentum. She showed me how to be someone admirable. And the way these kids are not obsessed with her, but these kids love her. So like she's changed kids' lives. She's the type of person I need at school. I want to make people proud, and I want to do things like that. And so all the little drama and little issues that I have with my family or with these kids at school, I put it on the back burner, and I'm trying to get there.